Hi, I'm Josh Wolf. I'm a short filmmaker, film student at Full Sail University. Okay, for question one, what do you see as the roles of visual arts in society today, particularly in your profession? Um, the roles are ever changing, but at the moment, I feel like it's more to entertain. But I feel like as we move forward in the future, it's more now to educate than entertain, as we see with how education is using all forms of media more often, as we see with online classes, educational videos, and movies just kind of pushing messages, as in more so documentaries, rounding up causes. New communications and media technologies mean. I feel it has a positive influence because makes it easier for people to access this information, to go out there and do it. But there's negatives along with it because we are pretty much doing all like digital now, which means it's hard to like store the files because it's electronically. There's no hard copies, so that kind of puts film like it's ending film, that's a kind of a bad thing I think because technology advanced because it's like ending a whole way of life. Um, Images do frequently repeat throughout genres. We see the imagery of evil versus good in storytelling all the time. With movies nowadays, the themes of hero are really big. For a while there, when the Saw industry, there was torture porn was big in the genre. Uh, in horror, we see a lot of imagery of the Christian church being brought up with a lot of the exorcism movies. That's a pretty cool thing. Um, Visual art styles. Who's your favorite visual artists? Because visual arts span a lot of things. For like paintings, I love Salvador Dali. For film, because just his style, like, yeah, I can't name any particular pieces off the top of my head because I can't remember the names. But the melting clock piece, I love. I love the piece with the trees, the heads staring out at each other. That was a play on perspectives, which I love. I love how intricate his art, all the symbolism in his, and how every little thing has meaning. But filmmakers nowadays, I really love Richard Linklater, how he tackles realism, and he kind of paints everything realistically, and he shows the rawness of it. He tackles all types of different genres, and he does a lot of experimental work, which I really like, because he just hops around independent studio work, and all of his works have like a cause and a meaning, and like are tackling a subject. Uh, Definitely, I've been influenced by famous artworks. Like I said, Richard Linklater has influenced me a lot. I find I try to make my characters like him, attack my dialogue, the way he tackles his dialogue, just his style, realism. Another person, a lot of people influenced me. Tarantino influenced me. David Fincher. Before that, I would go Alfred Hitchcock. Locks. I love the suspense he tackles. Um, but just like I said before, Dali, like his style, like I love abstract imagery. David Lynch, like a lot of people have influenced me. Um, how do I see the future of the industry being like a few years from now? I see crowdfunding is playing a big role in the industry now, which is great for filmmakers because they don't have to toss all their own money in there. Um, but I see it as good and bad. I see it as a lot more people getting feedback from the crowd, so it kind of not as the director's or the writer's image. It's more of like a crowd thing. So I see it changing very drastically, and I don't know if the future can be predicted of it because we see with the Comic Cons that the audience is playing now a bigger role more than ever. So I feel like the future's in the audience's hands. How does the time, atmosphere, and place you may be and influence your creative artwork? Definitely. I'm right now a broke college student, so all of my stuff is very low budget, tame, and it's all kind of set around philosophy, conversations on like what to do with your life after college, questions about like moral things that I face, and a lot is all of them are pretty much set in apartment complexes or in like very one set, two set, three set locations because that's all I really got around here. Um, definitely, I've been definitely, excuse me, by different artworks that are not films. I've been influenced by many books. The Stranger influenced me a lot. That book, just the wrong place, wrong time. Great book. Definitely books, artworks. I've definitely written movies based off artworks. Music is definitely one of my major influences. Um, Visualizers influenced me too. I've seen some like visualizers at concerts. For instance, I saw this one. I don't remember what band it was, but it was at a band and it was like going through the trees into a tunnel. And after that, I've wrote a piece about like that journey that was from starts on the road, goes from the trees, goes to the tunnels, and it leads to a whole like separate place. And that's like the 3, 4 locations of the piece. So I've been influenced by a lot of things. I feel like artwork influences from everywhere around you is an influence, and you can't really, it's your atmosphere. It's what like your upbringing. It's you can't like really name it. Your muses are everywhere. It's just life. Yeah, cat here. Um, yeah, and I hope that's all you need. I'm Josh Wolf. Thank you for listening to me, and I hope you do well.